Not muted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Does it say, I wonder if it often frames the person who's not muted, but I don't know if we have that. Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order right now. I'm sorry that I should have, looked at my own emergent needs before making us late. But, because of that, I'll make sure the meeting ends 5 minutes faster.
Okay.
All right, so, we'll have the approval of the minutes. Walt Warren has given us the minutes, and, I think we've had a chance to see them. Does anybody have any questions, any additions, corrections? Yeah.
Are these from January?
December.
We had a meeting in December.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, I printed these off yesterday, and it says March 13th. Oh. Okay. Okay.
Cool.
I used to print them off too, but then when they give me out here.
I did, and anyway, well, I wasn't at the last meeting, so I need to be moved to the absent.
Okay. All right, great. Any other additions or corrections?
Sarah?
Yes.
Right. You weren't at the last meeting?
No,
The last meeting, as I recall, you made it halfway down,
I got to
You turned
Parkersburg
around and
and
went
chickened
back.
out.
and then you showed up on the phone.
Again?
Oh, look.
That must have been my phone doing something on its own again.
Well, your email
Because I didn't do that on purpose.
You didn't say anything to embarrass us. I don't know. What, you did something to embarrass
That's why I marked you present.
you?
Oh, my goodness.
So,
All right, any other comments on the minute?
I hate
Good for us. All right, is there a motion to accept the minutes? Yeah. Okay. Second?
Second.
We'll be that way then.
yeah, I'm here. What do you think I'm doing?
All right, are there, all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Okay. Are there any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. The treasurer's report. Are we accomplishing that? Great.
Good morning, or afternoon, yeah, something like that. This report is as of February 28th. Our operating cash balance was about 1.7 million. Our membership is actually up a little bit compared to this time last year at almost 1.5 million. Contractuals are roughly in the same ballpark. The office and computer/database numbers, I've changed the classification because some of the things that were listed as office are better fit for the computer department, so that's why those two numbers are so different. The association dues is a timing issue. Sometimes we get them in at different times. The travel, we did have a travel, like, I guess, ban for a little while. And then the promotions, whenever Christy was here, she did a lot with promotions, and it's just been a little bit less lately. But our expenses for the year compared to last year are down a good bit, so that's good.
And I can speak to the travel and promotions if y'all like me to, while they're down. Like Sarah said, there was a point where we were in transition. I didn't think it was right to send people off on some of the conferences. We also had one conference that we had asked 10% for that was back to back with another, and I could not let an employee be gone that long. So, some of the conferences, when I ask for the money, we don't necessarily go. As she was saying with promotions, when Christy was here, if y'all remember, we were doing almost every fair and festival across the state to try to get our names out there. We looked to see which ones had the most people at them so that, we would know how to target them better in coming years so we wouldn't be spending so much money, but still able to meet with the public, so. It was very productive, yeah, very much so. But we also were, like I said, we were able to see which ones had the most bang for the buck, if you would like to say.
And you promoted yourself with like a stand that wanted to...
Yeah, we would have a table, we would give out things like these stickers and pins and talk to people.
Any questions on that financial report? Okay, for the 10% report, there's a listing of what we've spent the money on so far. We have roughly $176,000 in revenue for that this year. We had $51,000 left over from last year. And then we spent around $58,000, and we have unencumbered, that's supposed to be February, not November. We have about $118,000 left unencumbered for this year for that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Any questions?
Oh, I did have one.
Comments? Yeah, go ahead.
The budget and the operating amount, 1.7 to 2.1, how is that gonna match? How do we match those? The proposed budget is $2,100,000.
Yes, and then we're not completely finished with the year yet, so Maryland is a really big push at the end of the year to get it.
So, okay, so this is what you propose to try to collect. Just, again, trying to understand where the number comes from.
Other questions or talk about this? All right.
I have a question, Ellen. This is
Sure,
Betty.
go ahead. Sure, Betty.
We're paying for, the BRIM insurance, and I see two entries on the, 10%, sheet, $1,887 and, let's see, $629. And do we pay that, and more than that, do we pay that quarterly or monthly?
Quarterly.
Quarterly, and who is covered under this BRIM contract?
Yeah, Sarah.
Okay, so we get separate bills for our foundation, EBC, and the Friends, so this is only for the Friends department. That it's covered under any, like, incidents that would happen, like, while we're out doing things like that.
Okay, so this just covers the Friends, is that correct?
Yes. It's quite low compared to the other ones.
So it's $629 a quarter.
Right. For this year, it changes sometimes.
And tell me just briefly what that covers.
Would it cover?
Yeah.
It's just like if we were at an event and something were to happen, or we own which we don't own property with the Friends or the foundation, so it wouldn't cover anything like that. It'd just be more like if someone got injured at an event that we're hosting or things like that.
Would that include Mountain Stage outings and?
Not the Friends, because that's not covered under, Mountain Stage is covered under the EPC foundation.
Really, what promotional events that we have, if we.
Right.
Yeah, the things that the Friends would sponsor.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions? All right.
What do the Friends sponsor?
Well, really just promotional events, I would say.
Yeah, promotional events, like we were talking about, like when we have tables at the fairs and festivals. The things that we ask 10% funds for to participate in.
Yeah, it's unlikely that, I mean, it's not like we're doing dangerous things or any hang gliding or bungee, but nonetheless, I mean, just tables fall on people's toes and all kinds of things.
Can we talk about anybody?
Not much.
Sorry.
No, it's not like we're doing that many things, but I guess, lawyers that, know.
You don't need it.
Anybody can be sued for anything. So, everybody used to ask me, well, now that I've got this contract, can I be sued? I said, yeah. Any idiot with a filing fee can sue you. So, you just worry that about getting dragged into that kind of stuff. So, okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. Let's see. I guess our motion is to accept the report, the treasurer's report. Okay.
So moved.
Okay, and then somebody else has chimed in there with a second, I think.
Ready?
Oh, that's Betty. Okay, good. All right, been moved and seconded. We received the Treasurer's report. All in favor, say aye.
Fine.
Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries too. For the chairman's report, we had an executive committee meeting, and I guess Eddie's report will give us a little bit more about some of the things that happened there, about the report he gave to us. But we do have the 10% request there, a part of your meeting package. Will you all explain some of these a little bit more?
Yeah.
We have made the recommendation that these be approved, but nonetheless.
And
just
I
for
did have
explanation.
one that was literally added 10 minutes before the meeting.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'll go through that as well.
Good.
And I'll go through the whole list, and if y'all have any questions, we will come back to it. So the first request that I made was $5,500, and this is to replenish a lot of the education materials that we need, and also very specifically, we have a program coming up with the Mountaineer Food Bank, and we want to provide educational materials in those packages that go to families in need. And one of the reasons being is that books are extremely expensive, and children whose families have to worry about clothing their children, buying food for the children, don't have the money to buy books and educational supplies for the home. So we thought it would be really cool to provide some books and educational material that, coming from PBS Kids curriculum that we know works, to go to these families that have these kids. And then we're hoping to distribute like 500 boxes to families in Mercer and Clay counties. And Mercer was hit with the flooding, and also they had Hurricane Helene also came through very recently. But there's also other educational materials that they need replenished throughout the year. We plan to do a lot more of those events as we are coming up. So $5,500 for those educational materials, including books. Also, $550, Autumn and Brittany are being asked to present at the Literacy Leaders Conference at Shepherd University on March 22nd. Since it's so far in the Panhandle, we would like to be able to let them spend the night at a hotel after the conference before they come back. So $550 to pay for their lodging to go to that. We have the Public Media Development and Marketing Conference coming up July 6th through 9th at Philadelphia. Amanda Rogers, Amanda back there, she's new to the staff. She's our marketing director in the corner. This is a really important conference for her to familiarize herself more with public media and the very specifics that we use marketing for that other organizations may not. So $3,500 rounded up, registration, hotel, round-trip travel for Amanda to attend that. We had another request, $9,500 for the membership department specifically to buy laptops and some licenses. And the reason for this, the membership department, they use very specific software for membership, including access to databases, tracking the members, that require a little more memory than we can get through like a normal state contract. This allows us to get something really specific for the membership department, so we don't have to go through that process where we might get a computer that's really not going to fit their needs. And the licenses are to help them create these membership things that we send out to continue to raise money. And then the Public Media Content Conference. There was not one last year, so it's been 2 years since we've sent anybody. Xander Alloy, he's our new director of programming. Mountain Stage always attends. This is the only radio conference where program directors meet, and this is a time for them to look at the program schedules, to see what's new out there, see what's working, see what's not, possibly pick up new programs. And Mountain Stage gets to pitch our program to program directors to get picked up by more stations. And then, right before the meeting, there is an underwriting training course, and it is online. We don't have to send anybody. We have a new underwriting representative with Deborah Fernsell, and it wouldn't hurt Annie to be able to attend this either. As a refresher, it's $800 per person, so it's $1,600 total. And this is going to give them strategies to sell underwriting, especially with Deborah being new. She worked in commercial media before. It's totally different than public media. They're going to learn how to approach to make important asks of organizations and businesses, and as well as how to craft those messages so that they meet FCC requirements. So that's $1,600 if we could let them do this virtual class. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay. Are those the ones we've already heard?
The ones we already heard was everything up until that very last one, the
Okay,
underwriting.
Great. Rita? Yeah.
Just interested, Eddie, in the first one, the books and
Education.
activities for Mercer and
Yeah.
Clay. You said it's PBS Kids, but is it clear that, it's West Virginia Public Broadcasting and
Yes.
then at some point, it would be great, as if you don't have enough to do, but with things like this, that those legislators from those two
So we
counties
put the
are
materials
aware.
in the bags.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're branded
Okay.
with their stuff, and then we have our own local stuff in here as well. Because we do have our own educational material.
Okay. Thank you.
And these bags are actually backpacks the kids can use to carry their stuff around in.
Those are great.
So.
Okay, any questions about any of the things that were discussed under the 10% request?
This comes out of our 10%. That number is 100,000 after these requests? Or before the request?
So it's currently, according to Sarah, we're at 118,000, and it comes out of that.
Okay.
Where's this conference in Philadelphia being held? What center or building or whatever?
I don't have that information, but they always pick they get a discount to have a conference at, and they pick the hotels based on the discount that they can get.
Oh, it's in a hotel.
Yeah, it'll be in a hotel that has a conference center attached to it.
And who were the two people?
Amanda alone is going to the marketing conference. The programming conference would be Xander, Adam, Mallory, and Jeff Shirley.
Right, we have that.
Okay, great. The executive committee decided to take these together, but for the one that we didn't get to pass on yet, we can go through here to do these together, or to do them separately if there's something that somebody would want to separate and highlight. What's the pleasure of the group? Do you have any thoughts about whether you would like to?
I prefer to go ahead and just approve all of them together. However, I've done a little calculation here.
Yeah, he sent it to me. So
Yeah,
I
that's
had
what
25,000. The total was 30,550.
Right, that's what I had originally, but now with the 1,600, I'm getting 32.
Yes, correct.
Okay. As long as we're on the
Okay.
same number.
I'm not good at math.
I'm not good at email.
Yes.
I move that we accept these as or vote on these as a package.
Okay, well, and then that'll just be a suggestion, and I appreciate that, and I will offer them this package unless somebody decides to break them up. So, here are the 10% requests. You've heard about those. Do you have any questions about them, anyone? Okay, and if it's okay, then is there a motion to approve these 10% requests? Bonnie, I think you were
I think I
close
moved
to that.
that.
Okay, kind of. And second, okay, and Rita has seconded that. So it's been moved and seconded. Any further conversation about this? Any further discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, are any opposed? All right, the motion carries then. Thank you. The committee report. Rita, I guess you're going to nominate some folks.
Okay.
She's been nominated some
It's
folks.
that time of year again, for, the nominating committee is, a calendar for these, elections coming up. So staff will arrange, a call for nominations on air and on our webpage starting March 17th. And then the month after that, April 18th, will be a deadline, for members, to submit nominations or to nominate themselves. And again, these are members in good standing who are contributors. And then, the nominating committee will meet between, April 21st or to the 23rd to review them. And then there's a date later on, the following, on the 24th of April, the ballots, will go to the printers, deadlines to mail postcards. The nominating committee has this information. And then, at the end of May, the online balloting closes. So then we will, on May 30th, notify the nominees of the election results and invite those who have been elected to the June 12th meeting.
That says June 12th, this says June 11th. The meeting is June
yes.
11th.
Well, either the 11th or 12th, whatever that day is.
Yeah, the meeting is June 11th.
Yes, thank you. And, we do hope that there will be a board orientation prior to the board meeting. It would be presumably the day of, but.
Yeah, we can do it that morning.
I think that's really important, and the committee will clarify with staff about whose job it is to do what after people are elected, and make sure everyone's informed one way or the other.
It'd be nice to do it that morning right before lunch, before we go into the meeting, yeah.
Okay.
I really would like to hear about that too.
Well, I think, again, a lot of us can use a refresher.
I think I got
Yeah, probably not.
How many are on the,
No, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead and finish.
Go.
How many are on your committee and how many openings are there?
On the nominating committee, at this point, it is Bonnie Brown and Karen Rice and myself.
I have Mark Sundstrom.
Anybody else?
I don't have Karen Rice.
Really? Well,
I have Ray Brown Sundstrom.
I guess I better figure out who's on my committee.
Sounds like he's interested.
Well, I'm more interested in just keeping my, trying to understand all the different.
Okay.
I love it.
I'm not trying to get into anything in particular.
That's good that you are.
I'll consult with the chairman here and clarify.
How many openings for the board?
Are you interested?
Well, I have another interest that I.
Okay, well, we'll see what you decide.
Okay. All right.
I have a question. How are,
Yes,
what's the process for nominating folks?
Oh, well, you can, do that when they start posting this online, and, just.
So on the website?
Yes. And
Okay.
just fill in a little brief information and contact information, just confirming that they are a member of the Friends.
Gotcha.
So all the members will get a nominating form, or have the ability to nominate because of an email that is
Yes.
sent to them, is that right?
An email will go to all members.
Right. And everybody gets to make a nomination then.
And we have openings in 8 of our transmitter locations, but I can provide that, to
That's how
anybody.
many openings there are, 8,
10.
and they need to come from certain areas.
Yeah, so members represent a very specific transmitter, and some transmitters, because the population will have more members than other transmitters.
And, I think that's laid out in the bylaws. And thank you for asking about that some time ago, because then we got them out
Got them out,
everywhere.
have it in my file.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know we represented transmitters, did we?
I
No.
try not to say anything in particular.
That's all right. Don't take hands.
Oh, no, our meeting's gonna get shut down. Okay.
I have a question. I have a
Yeah.
question.
Good. Yeah.
Will you notify board members if their term is expiring?
Yeah,
Yes.
Wallace and I were actually looking at that earlier today.
Okay, thank
What
you.
is that about? I didn't hear that. Was that to
People whose
identify the
terms
people whose terms are expiring?
right
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wallace and I were
Yeah,
looking at that.
another little follow-up to that is if you're an at-large member, how does that work? How does an at-large member function?
Well, the committee, has the, authority, as I recall, to, nominate people, directors to those are at-large seats that we would present to the board at the annual meeting for their approval. And sometimes we do that depending on if we think a certain transmitter location needs to be filled and it doesn't have representation, or if someone we think has a lot of great skills to offer, but there isn't, all the transmitter locations are filled according to the bylaws, then we can offer their names to an at-large
Well,
position.
So I'm an at-large, and I think I've done it for 3 years. So do I reapply, or I just sit tight and see what happens?
No, Peter, you got moved into the Wheeling slot number 3.
Oh, okay.
You're-
So I'm back to Wheeling. Okay, that's great.
You're no longer at
Okay.
large, but you're up for election this year.
Okay, that's why. I got it.
Yeah.
Do you have to resubmit your name to be up for election, or is it?
It is,
Yes.
most recent term is up.
When's my term up?
I'll see, let's see, where are they? There we are, next year. Oh, believe me, we'd be telling.
Well, tell me something I don't know, is for the at-large, slots, are those nominated from the general group too, or
No.
are those only from the nominating committee?
Well, they can be sent to the nominating
Okay.
committee.
Well, you're not closed to that, but
Right.
they don't originate from the people at large, is that right?
Not for at-large,
Okay.
right,
Okay.
right.
All right. Good.
And I'll have to say, I do appreciate our secretary here who keeps us honest.
Really? No
She's
kidding.
fabulous.
Yeah. That's what you need out of a secretary. I mean, so it's one of the most important positions in any organization, isn't it? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
No, absolutely. Good
Very
grief.
nice.
That was easy, Walt. I can do better than that, really.
Well,
Okay.
see that you do.
Well, all right. All right, we've heard the nominating report. Is there anything, and are there any questions? All right. Now, the audit committee. Laurie, do you have the report of the audit committee, or was someone here helping you with that?
I thought that we took care of the audit at the last meeting.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so there's no more that needs to be reported. I just saw it on the agenda and wondered whether we needed to do more.
The audit was completed, signed off, and should be posted on the website.
Right.
Okay,
Okay. Wonderful. All right, thank you.
okay, sure.
Questions? All right, any other committees have reports?
What are the other committees?
Well, I don't know unless they tell me they have a report.
Well, I have one question. It's
Mhm.
something that needs to be updated.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
I get all okay. Papers mixed up here. I've got it. Believe me, I've got it.
We believe
Okay.
you.
Well, here's
Put you on
what
board
we
for
had.
it. Mhm.
Executive committee, okay, that's officers and other board members invited. Nominating, finance, audit, marketing, public policy, bylaws, program advisory, membership, and education. Those are the, committees listed as of fiscal year 23.
Yeah, because we didn't have a lot of meetings for some of those because, a lot of them were either staff functions or we allowed the staff to go ahead and take those and run with them without, really bringing in some board members to do that because it's easier to do. We can do better. We can certainly have people who are assigned to those, to some of those staff functions and, we could do that, but we haven't up to this point.
May I add, though, that you certainly we welcome anyone who expresses an interest in a particular committee to say so,
Mm-hmm.
and be added to that committee with
We
open arms.
probably went a long way by identifying those committees, didn't we? Okay.
All for the professionals doing it, but then if there is a committee that's not a super, well, then it ought to report.
Right.
If we're
Okay.
responsible for it.
All right. Okay.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
sure.
Report whatever it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Keep informed, but that's not too much.
Yeah, for the past, couple of years, we haven't really, activated some of those committees for, say, marketing, and we haven't gotten board involvement in marketing, we haven't gotten board involvement in, we haven't had to change any bylaws to speak of, but when we do, we do, and membership and education. So I think that's well taken, and, you know, what we need to we'll poll the board for interest by email sometime over this period between now and the next meeting, and then, see, and then we'll talk to the staff to try to make sure they're incorporated into that. How's that?
I think that the staff and the executive committee would try to see what was pertinent or not. You know, if there was one that needs to be
Right.
given
Need to be
attention
done.
or asked for, somebody's over, seeing it.
It has been kind of ad hoc up to this point. When we need to pull these people together, we pull them together, and when we don't, we haven't bothered people with it. But again, that's well taken. No, but I mean, it needs to be done. I mean, this is what a committee is for, and sometimes we need to be kind of, you know, smacked a little bit to wake up and make sure we're covering our responsibilities.
It doesn't have to report every time, and they're pressed into service at a certain time.
At a certain time of year.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, the staff report. Eddie, I'll go ahead and let you do that.
Okay.
Why not?
Hi, thank you all for joining us today. I'll try to get through this as quickly as possible because I know people have things to do. I'm going to start with just a really quick legislative update. There are a couple things that we're looking at that's going through the legislature right now. As you all are aware, there's a bill both in the House and the Senate that reorganizes state government. And the one that affects us is the one that combines tourism and arts, culture, and history. Educational Broadcasting Commission still remains its own organization, but we fall under that umbrella of arts, culture, and history. They provide us administrative support when it comes to things that need to be done on the executive level. This would combine arts, culture, and history and tourism into its own division department under Secretary Chelsea Ruby. We would just simply move under it as our own organization, and that umbrella would provide us with the administrative support that we need at the executive level. I've already started working with Secretary Ruby as well as Ennis Smith, who has been named the acting curator and Secretary of the Arts. They've been approving administrative stuff for us so far. I've been having regular meetings with them. I'll be honest, I don't feel that those particular bills will really have much of an impact on us. It just makes me reporting to a different secretary than what I had been what I had done before. The other thing is the budget. We're watching the budget very closely. We had committee meetings before both the House and the Senate the past 2 weeks. West Virginia Public Broadcasting, under the current proposed budget, does see a 13% cut. I, again, have been working with Secretary Ruby on ways to see how much of that money we might be able to get back. So it's a process that we're going through at this time.
Is that the entire Department of Culture and History?
No, that's West Virginia Educational Broadcasting, because like I said, we are separate. We handle our own budget and everything. Their budget's different. They're also seeing cuts in places, and so is tourism. But I'm concerned about mine, as I should be. But there are other cuts proposed for all agencies.
We wrote letters to the representatives in Congress.
Yeah, that's the federal level.
Did anybody get any response? Mine just disappeared.
Yeah, and so that goes past the state level. So on the federal level, we are still watching. It's really still in the talk phase. There's really been nothing introduced yet. But there has been talk about elimination of corporation for public broadcasting. I will tell you, we have our money for the current fiscal year. We're supposed to be earmarked for the next fiscal year. We're watching it. There are a couple of meetings coming up on the national level that we'll be watching, including a DOJ committee meeting with both the heads of NPR and PBS. So we're watching that as well. So moving into stuff that the staff here, if you look around, these are the people that make everything here possible. Has nothing to do with me. It's all them. They've been working really hard, and a lot of their work getting a lot of recognition right now, and we'll go through that. Education with Autumn and Brittany.
Question.
Uh-huh.
A Doge committee meeting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with Marjorie Taylor Greene, yes.
Oh, gee, she's on the committee? You know that,
So whenever this will be
Oh,
live
gosh.
streamed, and when I get, that we don't have a set time yet, I will send a link out to board members so they can watch.
Well, how does this break down? We get 20% from the federal government, is that correct?
I don't know the exact percentages.
and
It roughly comes, sometimes it makes up a third of our budget.
And, the 13% was from the state
That's the state level.
appropriation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So, okay.
okay.
I just wanted to note, I listened to Heather Cox Richardson's podcast, and she pronounces Doge doggy.
Oh.
My wife calls it dodgy.
Yeah, well, that too.
That's great.
That too, exactly.
So again,
As in
Autumn and
baby
Brittany
doggy.
have been working really hard in education. You know, I just asked for the request, you know, they plan to work with, you know, organizations, like the Mountaineer Food Bank. But, they recently did a Super Saturday at the Marshall Health Arena a couple of weekends ago. Well, we saw 200 children there, and we provided them with books and other resources. And again, as I've been saying, and books are very expensive, and kids who can't afford books because their family have to look at other ways. I mean, it's really great that you all provide us with money so that they can have resources that other kids already are getting. You know, it's really important. The Writers Contest is in swing. We're getting entries now. That will end on March the 28th. As we have done traditionally, students at Marshall University are going to judge those entries so that we have someone outside of the organization picks the winners. And then we're going to bring them together at the Culture Center at a later date, have a big award ceremony, you know, for the people who got first, second, and third places. It's always a fun time, and it inspires kids to be creative. You know, literacy has always been an important part of public broadcasting, all the way back to the days of Sesame Street, which taught us our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and of course reading Rainbow. So it's really important that we continue those literacy programs. The Daniel Tiger Little Learners program, which is going on in Boone County, that we were able to expand this year to, is it 15 locations, Autumn, now?
Right now it's
13 locations. So we are getting ready to have a celebration in May with those kids as they graduate. 250 students in Boone County. And we have applied for a grant through the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation to expand this program, which has been very successful, into Clay, Lincoln, and Kanawha counties. And at one point, we would love for it to be a statewide program. And what this does, it takes curriculum from Daniel Tiger's neighborhood and teaches kids social skills, as Mr. Rogers always did. You know, and the kids love it. They get a sash with little buttons on it. We bring Daniel Tiger in to see them, and they all get really excited. It is. We do.
You and.
Autumn and Brittany back here. Autumn. Yeah.
When will you know,
You
Eddie?
go out to the locations and.
When will we know about the grant? I don't know. We just submitted it, just like 2 weeks ago. Maybe next week? On Wednesday. Okay. Last year, if you remember, we were named a change maker by the Greater Kanawha Valley Foundation for this specific program. So, also, Autumn is working with the Fred Rogers Productions for another Fred Rogers thing, to Be My Neighbor Day. We're planning it maybe early fall, late summer. More details to come as we continue to work for that. Again, working with Mountaineer Food Bank, and they just have a lot of stuff that they're working on right now that they're going to continue. Workshops, other programs, and they're still working with students. You know, we have Emma Browning from Capitol High School and Leah Sarr from George Washington High School, working with them to do little segments on the legislature today. Our video production department this year also started working with the journalism students at Marshall University as part of our news bureau that we just opened up over there. They're doing packages with Randy Yowie that goes on the legislature today. So it's really cool, you know, that that we're able to do our jobs, but also teach younger people, a little bit about civics and about journalism as well, and to bring that education element, and especially to strengthen our relationship with Marshall University, which we just brought back, and it's been so important for us. Mountain Stage, we just did a show Sunday, March 9th. The next one's March 21st in Rochester, New York. We're on the road for a few times, and then April 6th, we're in Manassas, Virginia. And then we come back on April 13th back here in Charleston. And today is Tourism Day at the Capitol. Mountain Stage does have a table there because Mountain Stage brings people in to West Virginia when we have our performances here. They come here. They eat at our restaurants. They stay at our hotels. We bring tourists to West Virginia. So, it's important that we are a part of Tourism Day over at the Capitol. And this afternoon, Adam Harris and Kathy Matea will be participating in the NPR Music Showcase. This is an online event where they get to pitch Mountain Stage to program directors across the country. Again, we're trying to continue to grow that program to get more people to pick us up. And Adam and Kathy will be doing that together later this afternoon online. It's the first time we've been asked to be a part of the showcase for a while, so it's really cool that we were invited back. Again, video production is working really hard on Inside Appalachia. We just had a screening of some of our documentaries at the Marshall University pop culture event, HerdCon. We're getting ready to release a series of shorts called Almost Heaven. We've been working with Shannon Silverman. She's an astrophysicist at the Clay Center, and we've been doing small video segments about the skies above West Virginia and what people should look for. Think Stardate, but video and focused on West Virginia. So that's been a really fun project. Hey Cartooners, our documentary that we did on Joel Huffman. It's being picked up by other stations. WOUB in Athens, Ohio will be airing it in March, and KET is going to air it in April. So we're really glad that that's being picked up regionally, so more and more people.
Do you get an income from that when they pick? Do you get an income?
No, we offer them for free.
Okay.
Yeah, it's to expose our stuff. We're about educate. We're nonprofit. Right. I mean, they're a fellow. They're public broadcasting stations. They're a sister station. So, digital, as Rita was telling us, Liz, she's getting we have great response with our WVPB app, which we've updated it. Liz has been working to send out notifications to people so that they know things that we're doing, and at times, and as Rita has been saying, she's found that very helpful. We've been using it for like Mountain Stage ticket sales, news stories that just get published, when to listen to our podcast, when we release new things. It's another way for us to reach our audience in different ways. And Liz has been working really hard on that. We have been seeing an increase as well in the use of our app, a 9% increase in unique users since December. So that's really encouraging news. You can do everything on that app. You can listen to the radio, you can watch video, you can download education resources, look at the program schedule, and read all the news stories as they come in. Make a pledge to West Virginia Public Broadcasting. So, it's just another way that we can be where everybody is. We're promoting it heavily on the air to get more and more people.
What kind of cost is there to that?
Actually, it's free to public media stations. We work with a vendor who works with all public media stations.
Okay.
Yeah.
But to get the app, or what's it called?
WVPB. Just search for WVPB.
No, I mean, if you're a sustaining member, you get.
Oh, you can log into your Passport account.
Passport.
Yes. Yeah, you can log into your Passport account. Yes, through there. Exactly. The most people, the time of the day that most people use it is, of course, in the mornings during morning edition in West Virginia morning, and podcasts that people listen to. West Virginia Morning, Inside Appalachia, most popular, obviously. So we're really happy about that. Americo has been working on several grant requests. We've already talked about the one that expands Daniel Tiger's Little Learners, but we just received word that we did get a $20,000 grant from WVPB, so that we can do screenings of the American Revolution from Ken Burns coming up across the state. I think, are we looking at 3 locations, America, is that correct?
We're looking at Marshall, WVU, and
Yes, that way we can hit different areas of the state. So we're actually really excited about that. And again, like I said, he has a lot of other grant opportunities that we're looking at right now. For the membership report, just so you all know, pledge drive starts Friday. If you want to make an additional gift, you can. But I did want to show you all a couple of new things that we're going to be rolling out Friday. This is the new West Virginia Public Broadcasting mug. Of course, you know we do a Fiesta Wear mug every year. This is the new one for this year in this color. But we also have a new T-shirt that we're going to be talking about. It's a long sleeve T-shirt. On the front, it's got the I Heart West Virginia Public Broadcasting, as everybody can see. And on the back, you can proclaim you are a West Virginia Public Broadcasting nerd. And this is a nerd in the good way. As Elliot was telling you, we used to have a T-shirt that said, I watch PBS on purpose. And, you know, this is to proudly let everybody know that you do. You listen, you watch, you know, you value who we are and what we do. You're a super fan and you're proud of it. So we're really excited to roll those out during the upcoming fund drive.
And Eddie, those will be available to buy off the website? Will those be available to?
You can make a pledge of support. You can't buy them. It's our way of saying thank you, Peter.
Okay.
I gotta get one.
So, I don't know if y'all tuned in. It was last Monday, America Made with Love. Was it last Monday?
Yes.
Yeah. And 3 Charleston places it was a national program. We didn't produce it. It was produced nationally. It included J.Q. Dickinson Salt, Chef Paul Smith, and Base Camp Printing was a part of that. And it was real exciting. You know, we put together this special membership package. One of Chef Paul's recipes that was featured in it is Base Camp put it on a nice little thing, and J.Q. Dickinson gave us some salt. So, I mean, it's really cool. It was really cool. She's not in here. We do have a new membership employee, Liz Swick. You will be hearing her on the air during this pledge drive. She comes to us. She was at the Clay Center before. Am I correct on that? Okay, I thought so. Again, Radio Pledge Drive, March 14th through the 22nd. In FY25 to date, we have had 852 new first-time donors. That might have gone up since the last time I got this number, because that was last week, and we have been in a TV pledge drive, so it's probably increased. And again, talking about new employees, Jennifer Peak is our new assistant program director, so Xander Alloy finally has some help after I dropped all the programming on his lap and then said, here, take it. Engineering, on Friday of last week, a huge wind blew our tower over at Kaiser. There was some structural damage to it. It finally had seen its last leg because the wind blew it over. Luckily, we are still on the air because we knew that there was damage, and we had the foresight to move our equipment and everything off onto a temporary tower. So we did not go off the air, but we're assessing damage, looking at cleanup, and it's a tricky place because the rocks are filled with rattlesnakes there, and we have in the past had to medevac an engineer from that location from being bitten. So we're being very careful as we assess the damage. Yeah, Brian was up there the earlier part of the week looking at it, and we got some work to do there. But
You should make a documentary. But how to deal with rattlesnakes.
But like I said, we're still on the air, so we're good. Brian's also continuing working with universities about turning one of our old dishes into a radio telescope, working with students there. Actually, there's going to be a screening at the Clay Center on Thursday, tomorrow, and one at Marshall today. the person we're working with, kind of like talking about radio telescopes. So, and Xander and I are going to go tomorrow at this. We've been working with the director of EMS in Mingo County. They've been having serious issues, being able to communicate with each other. So we're looking at ways that maybe they can come onto one of our towers to kind of help them out. They have a lot of dead spots, which is not needed when you're in an emergency situation. And also Cabell County as well. We signed their MOU with them last fall. We had to wait till winter was over. We're getting ready to move some of their equipment onto our tower to work with them so that they can also have better communication in Cabell County with their tower there. Journalism, Randy Yowie. Is it okay for me to talk about that? Okay. So Randy Yowie, 2 Saturdays from now, the first Saturday of next month, he is going to get a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Associated Press of the Two Virginias. And at the same time, a lot of our staff is going to be there because we have 15 finalists in 13 categories. Yes, you heard me correctly. And those include Best Podcast, Trey K. Has everybody met Trey K? He's here at the meeting. Hi. Trey K, host of Us and Them. Best Spot News for Hurricane Helene. Emily Rice, Best Continuing Coverage for reporting about overdose deaths. Best Documentary, Trey K. Again, another small town newspaper shuts down. The list goes on and on. Best Light Feature, Bigfoot Festival. We have Serious Feature, Best Use of Sound, Best One-Man Band Reporter, Multi-Platform Storytelling, Best Website, Best Newscast, and Best Mountain State Heritage Stories. So congratulations to everybody who is making sure that West Virginia Public Broadcasting meets its mission. And that's my report.
All right, thanks.
Eddie?
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to thank Varsity Drug Intervention Institute for funding our Writers' Contest celebration. Because, we bring 18 fiddle winners down, and they help us have entertainment, food, they get books from authors and things like that. So that's Susan the best.
All right. Yeah, we face a lot of headwinds with all the crazy things that are going on in the country and the state right now, but it's awfully good to be able to hear this part. This part of the report talks about what we've been able to do, and it sounds very different from some of the grayer news that we get from time to time. So I really appreciate it. I appreciate the spirit in which it's offered, and I think these are the things we can be proud of. So we need to kind of cling to these and maybe even elevate these in our own minds and over some of the bad stuff that we seem to have to talk about too much. So yeah, thanks for the report. Great report. Okay. Any questions on the staff report? Okay, one thing I should have said too is, and I don't want to get into strategy, but there's not a whole lot of strategy to get into. We have talked with the legislative observer to enlist her services to pay some attention to some of the things that are going on. Of course, our concerns seem really, well, they move us around like, to checker piece or something. Our real concern is what's going on in the national level right now, because they seem just so indiscriminate and without reason in the things that they're doing. But we still need to pay some attention to what's going on in our legislature and just see what's happening. But as I say, I don't know that that's where our biggest threat comes from. Okay, so we've talked with her and we've begun to enlist her, but we had a tough time getting together. She's been very busy because the legislature's in session. So and now we've made contact, and I think we'll be ready for whatever happens, and we'll be able to give you all news whenever anything does happen there in the legislature. Okay.
Is that the same person we've had in the past?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hallie Mason. Yeah. All right. Is there anything else? Other matters?
There's a lot of disinformation and misinformation going on in this country right now. Is there any way, does the WVPB have any way of dealing with some of that, or just try to not get hit by it?
Well, telling the truth. I mean,
Yeah, telling the truth is,
Tell the truth, yeah.
Start.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually blame
Start.
somebody else
That's
because
exactly
that'll get
right.
rid of the funding altogether.
We just do our job.
Just carry on.
Sorry.
Yeah, we just do our
Right.
job.
There's a good place to find out information about dealing with misinformation. The Agora Institute at Johns Hopkins University, and it's kind of a liberal approach, but that would be balanced news, right, these days. Agora Institute at Johns Hopkins University.
We featured, one of the
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
Stand up and speak.
We featured, one of the people from the Agora Institute on our year-end episode of Us and Them, Dr. Liliana Mason.
Okay.
It's really incredible, and you might want to listen to that episode. It's really.
And they have a lot of broadcasts and other information on their website. Just look them up and see if there's something there that you would find useful. Any other places like that? There are lots of books being published about misinformation now. Also,
Nobody's reading.
yeah, we know.
Yeah, nobody's reading.
and that seems to be the biggest part of it.
Right.
That seems to be the biggest news story in the country, and I don't know. Does WVPB work with the Maryland broadcasting system?
Well, we're all part of the same broadcasting system, but here, the reason we have stations at different places so they can focus on their own communities. We focus on West Virginia.
Yeah.
And then we air national stuff. Maryland focuses on Maryland, Kentucky focuses on Kentucky.
Yeah, well, West Virginia has such a strange shape. It's partly mid-Atlantic, partly Midwest, partly Southern, and mostly unknown, I guess. Unknown territory.
All right, is there anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
We're adjourned. Thank you. Wow.